covering all your local high school football games with highlights and scores. Now, Football Friday, brought to you by Alabama Credit Union.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Gary Harris. Welcome into week 0 of the high school football season, week 1 of WVUA 23's Football Friday, presented by Alabama Credit Union. Visit alabamacu.com to learn more. Alabama Credit Union, loans for real life. Football Friday is 1 hour again this year, and we've got highlights. Well, 16 games is what we were scheduled for. We had a mix-up on the schedule, so we're going to have 15 games for you tonight, but that's going to be a lot. Plus our complete Football Friday high school scoreboard, our Football Friday Band of the Week, our premier service company Outside the Huddle feature, and much, much more. And we begin with our Game of the Week.
Now, the Football Friday Game of the Week.
And what a game it was. Tuscaloosa County High School hosting Central. After not playing for a while, this is the 3rd straight year. Last year, County High won a thriller, and they jumped all over the Falcons tonight. Carter Dotson to KJ Jackson. He's got reservations for 6. 49 yards later, it's 7-0 Wildcats. They played 2 quarterbacks tonight. Here's the other QB, Braden Smith. He throws a strike on the slant to Austin Cherry. See you later. 62 yards to pay dirt, and it is all County High early. The Falcons didn't get their first down until the second quarter, but when they got one, it led to points. Armani White, the sophomore quarterback, played brilliantly. 17 yards, gets the Falcons on the board. But right before halftime, Dotson is back under center for the Wildcats. He's going to escape the pressure and finds Kelton Norfleet for the touchdown. 21-7. County High would lead this game 28-7. 28-7. But as we check out the final, it's a thrilling comeback for the Falcons. They score 24 unanswered. They win it on a last-second field goal, 31-28. Joe Gaither, our high school football analyst, is there. He'll be checking in with us later, and he'll have analysis. Plus, he'll have that game-winning field goal on video. We'll show it to you a little bit later on in the show. But what a comeback. Last year, Central lost a heartbreaker to the Wildcats. Tonight, they win one. All right, let's keep it rolling. Hillcrest moving up to 7A this year, hosting Florence from up in North Alabama. First big play of the night, freshman running back Jacoby Harris gets some room along the right side and picks up a big first down. Later in the drive, they cap it off. Senior quarterback Bryson Kimbrough, one of the best, sneaks it in from a yard out. 2-point conversion, also a success. 8 points early for Hillcrest. And then it's Kimbrough with his arm, hitting senior wide receiver Jordan Chambers-Smith for 16-yard touchdown. Went for 2 again, made it 16-0. Florence, though, comes back in this one. Carter Graves picks up a first down, and they move the chains again, and that sets up quarterback Cade Davis. He's going to find Jimmy McDonald, and McDonald hangs on to get the first down. And more opportunities here for Florence as they're moving the chains, and they would get a field goal to get on the board. And Hillcrest, though, goes on to win it as we check out the final tonight. Hillcrest opening up in 7A just like they did most of the time in 6A with a win. They take it over Florence 32-20. The final score tonight. Christian Jones making his coaching debut tonight. The former Alabama great wide receiver and kick returner for Paul Bryant against Percy Julian out of Montgomery. Stampede defense playing tough early. Damian Edwards and company wrap up. Quarterback Bryson McGrew. Julian facing 3rd and long. And Paul Bryant's Brandon Johnson. That's the way Christian Jones is coaching those guys to play physical, find the football. Now check this out. Isaiah Plump blocks the punt for the Stampede, and Braylon Coleman finally finds it and picks it up and falls on it. And final play of the first half, Diego Marquez drills a 36-yard field goal to tie the game for the Stampede at 6-6. And as we check out the final, Paul Bryant played tough tonight, but they come up just a little bit short, losing their opener to Percy Julian out of Montgomery, 26-19, the final score in that ball game. West Blocton at Northside tonight. Beautiful evening for football in Northside, Alabama. West Blocton leading 7-0 and looking for more. Running back Nathan Barron punches it in. Extra point no good, but the Tigers up 13-0 over the Rams. Rams, though, figure they better go for it on 4th and goal, and they snap it to Bennett Green, and Bennett Green says, get out of my way because I'm going to pound it in the end zone. But West Blocton still up 13-7. Following kickoff, Nicholas Kelly Fields, the kick, and he is going to make some Rams miss, and then he's going to turn on the Jets. Nicholas Kelly is taking it to the house. 19-7 after the try for two was no good. Northside rebounds. Looking to respond right before the half. Quarterback Parker Shirley finds Evan Taylor in the end zone. That made it 19-14 going to half. Let's check out the final. And it is West Blocton and Northside going down to the wire. Northside wins a dramatic game tonight. 35-33, the Rams come back at home and get it done. What a ball game. Well, this is what can happen in week 0, right? It's week 0 for us as well as far as getting started. We thought Holt was playing at home tonight. That's the way we had it on the schedule. So we were going to cover that game. Our crew went out there. Woody Clement Stadium was empty. Kind of gives you an idea. So I called Coach Newton. He was coaching the game, but I called someone else and found out that Holt was at R.C. Hatch. So we don't have the highlights, but we have the good news. Holt goes on the road tonight, and Brian Newton and company get the win big over R.C. Hatch, 41-6. So a little bit of confusion there, but Holt gets the win, and nothing confusing about that. The Ironmen are 1-0 after winning just one game all last season. Well, we're certainly off and running here on WVUA 23's Football Friday, presented by Alabama Credit Union, but we're not really working up a sweat yet, but we will before the show's over. Coming up in the show, our Abby Award-winning, Emmy-nominated Outside the Huddle feature presented by Premier Service Company. But up next, former Brookwood player and assistant coach Chris Foster is back home as the head coach of the Panthers, and he made his coaching debut tonight against the Jasper Vikings. We've got it for you when we return to Football Friday here on WVUA 23. And the Fayette County cheerleaders welcome us back into Football Friday on WVUA 23. Pool and Patio Center brings us the cheerleaders every week, and we're excited and have been doing it for years to spotlight those cheerleaders. They do a great job. Well, we already showed you the coaching debut of Kristen Jones tonight at Paul Bryant. Also this evening, former Brookwood lineman Chris Foster back home making his coaching debut tonight, as the head coach at least, against the Jasper Vikings. Let's go out to Brookwood, a beautiful Billy Joe Young field, for the highlights between the Vikings and the Panthers. And we're going to pick this one up. Brookwood's Aiden McGee is going to field the kick, and he's going to turn it on. Nice return. Brookwood getting themselves going early in this one. Jasper quarterback, though, Tanner Morrow, after the Panthers drive stalled, he makes a couple of guys miss. He's big, man. That's a quarterback. He looks like Jamarcus Russell or Cam Newton running there. 30-yard gain. And then Morrow finds Brody Garrett, who powers into the end zone, and the Vikings take the lead over the Panthers, 7-0. Jasper's Morrow then is going to fake the handoff, and again, using that size and speed, he's going to get it to his guy for a touchdown, and it's 13-0. Extra point was blocked. Brookwood trying to come back in the second quarter. Wesley Patton hands it off to Noah Davis, but he coughs it up, and Jasper's Jalen McCullum is there to fall on the ball. Not a good start tonight at home for Brookwood. Let's check out the final. And this one was all Jasper. Tough night for the Panthers and for Coach Foster in his debut. Vikings take it 48-7, the final. All right, Holy Spirit hosting Verbena tonight here in Tuscaloosa. And there's some cheerleaders right there doing what they're so good at, firing up their teams. And this is Verbena, fired up early on. Hayden Wilson is going to get it into Holy Spirit territory. But the defense comes up with a big play. Nigel Say forces it loose, and Holy Spirit's able to jump on it, saying, "Nuh-uh, not tonight." Fourth down for Holy Spirit, and they are going to go for it, or at least fake the punt. Joseph Jones takes it all the way. What a gutsy call as they fake the punt, and they get some points. That is a huge play in the game. Unfortunately, offensively, they didn't do a lot tonight. That fake punt was the major highlight for the Saints as we check out the final. Verbena gets the win by the final score of 30-12, but that fake punt there, it was some kind of gutsy call and a touchdown, but the Saints come up short tonight at home. All right, let's head over to Pleasant Grove. McAdory Yellow Jackets taking on Pleasant Grove tonight. Two really good football teams. Yellow Jackets get off to a hot start. 3rd and long. Darion Davis, you know, this guy, I would dump the football off to him too, because he's really big, strong, and fast, and that's a great combination. That's a first down. McAdory would settle for a field goal. 3-0, though. Jackets after one. They try for another field goal. This time they get it blocked. And McAdory, though, coming back. And there is a throw and a catch. Justin Patton finds Carton Fagan, and it's 11-0 Jackets. And here comes Pleasant Grove. Caleb Freeman to senior wideout Morgan Harris. He gone. Touchdown. That'll cut it to 11-7. And as we check out the final tonight, two good teams going at it, but only one team could come out on top. And tonight it is McAdory in a wild one at Pleasant Grove. 38-35, that final score. Hueytown traveling to Clay-Chalkville. The Stuart Floyd era getting underway tonight for Clay-Chalkville, the defending Class 6A state champions. But here comes Hueytown. Takari Slaughter looking to make a move. Well, I should say Hueytown's trying to make a move, and that was Takari Slaughter there with the defense for Clay-Chalkville. There is the Gophers. Jabron Ellington scrambles and finds Anthony Robinson. And then it's Ellington with the screen to Drayden Foster, who stays on his feet for a 20-yard gain. Now with 4 seconds left in the half, Hueytown at the 2, and Ellington runs it out of the pocket and finds Keegan Horn. That made it 14-7, Clay-Chalkville at the half, and in the third quarter, the Cougars put it away. Josh Woods up the middle for 2 yards. That made it 21-7, and Clay-Chalkville goes on to win. They're strong again, even with the coaching change. 28-7, the final score in that one. Jackson-Olin hosting Wenonah, and there's Joe Webb, former UAB and NFL football player, on hand for this one. Pick up the action under 5 minutes to play in the first half. Wenonah leading Jackson-Olin 21-14. 4th and 16 for the Mustangs. Perfect time to dial up a fake punt. Tristan Carter on the fake, but he is short of the line to gain, but he just keeps going and going and going and gets the first down. What an effort. But it would not be long-lived. Another 4th down. And this time, JO's quarterback, Vernon Slaughter, is sacked by senior defensive end for Wenonah, Eldridge Shelton. Turnover on down. Second half action. J.O. backed up inside their own 5, and Slaughter is once again under duress. This time it's linebacker Jordan Davis with a sack in the end zone. That's a safety. That's 2 points. Dominance from the Dragons defense as we check out the final over in Birmingham tonight. Wenonah on the road beats Jackson-Olin by the final score of 23-14. We got some 8-man football tonight here in Cottondale, Alabama. Tuscaloosa Christian hosting Jacksonville Christian. Originally, this game was scheduled for last night. They pushed it back to Friday night, but we were still able to get out there. Tuscaloosa Christian Warriors gave up an opening touchdown to Jacksonville, but here they come right back. Alex Anglin, 35-yard pass to Jackson Harris. He's out to practice early. Wide open. 2-point conversion was good. 8-6, Warriors on top. The Thunder, though, of Jacksonville Christian come right back. Quarterback Noah Lee, 3-yard pass there to Jesse Ganaway. It's 14-8 Jacksonville. But here comes Christian again, Tuscaloosa Christian. And look at Anglin to Michael Carter. The big man turns on the gas. 30-22 at halftime. And as we check out the final, you get some points in 8-man football, and we got them tonight as we check it out from over in Cottondale. The final score, 67-38. Jacksonville Christian gets the win as these two teams combine for 105 points tonight. Wow. That's a lot of scoring, isn't it? All right, let's take a break, and we're going to hear from some of our great sponsors. But when we come back, we'll keep the highlights coming with some Thursday night action. Gordo and Fayette County renew their rivalry, and it was standing room only last night at Tuscaloosa Academy as the Knights played host to the American Christian Academy Patriots, and this was a heck of a football game. We'll recap it when Football Friday returns.
We're the Thompson cheerleaders, and we love Football Friday on WVUA 23.
The Thompson cheerleaders cheering us on. Welcome back to WVUA 23's Football Friday, presented by Alabama Credit Union. We had a number of Week 0 games on Thursday night, including a big one in Tuscaloosa between Tuscaloosa Academy and American Christian Academy. American Christian Academy, the road team in this one, TA hosting. The place was packed, y'all. As I said earlier, standing room only, and they saw a heck of a game. TA strikes first. Great quarterback. Preston Lancaster, back shoulder throw to Mark Norris. It's 14-7, Knights on top. And then it is Lancaster, after a field goal by ACA, hitting Ellis Hammer right up the seam. Hammer is a terrific wide receiver, very fast. He's gone. But here comes ACA coming right back, their great quarterback. Kai Young, two really good quarterbacks in this one. On 4th and 11, finds Logan Morris for the huge gain. And that would set up Young as he walks it into the end zone. It's 21-17. Then TA would fumble the ensuing kickoff, which led to Young going back up top to Morris. And it was ACA 24-21, but TA would score 17 straight. And as we check out the final, the Knights come back to win it 38-24. What a win for TA to open the season. Two really good football teams here in Tuscaloosa. Gordo hosting Fayette County. This is a great rivalry, and we're used to seeing some really competitive games. Last night, that was not the case. Gordo strikes quick. Jace Neal strikes to C.J. Lark for the touchdown, but the Tigers would respond against the Green Wave. Hester Whitaker right off left tackle, gets it into the end zone. We got ourselves a game, but from there on out, it was all Green Wave. Neal keeps this time. 12-yard touchdown, and then on the next possession, still in the second quarter, it's Neal going back up top and finding his buddy Lark for a 25-yard strike. Neal accounted for 4 touchdowns in the first half alone, as we're going to watch this one get into the end zone. And Gordo pummels Fayette County, 62-12. Like I said, we're used to seeing these two teams battle down to the fourth quarter, but not last night. Gus Smith, the Gordo coach, has said for the record, hey, we're on a mission to win a state championship this year. They look like they might have the team to do it. All right, you talk about powerhouses in the South. Thompson, arguably the top program in Alabama, against Grayson out of Georgia, one of the top programs in the Peach State. They played last night over in Alice Baster. First drive, and it was Grayson going right downfield. Joel Bradford caps it off from 2 yards out to make it 7-0. Thompson had to rely on its defense. There's Jared Smith, the Auburn commit, and Joel Bradford with the tackle in the backfield. The Thompson offense struggled all night in this one. Trent Seaborn, though, does hit Brooks Byers for a first down here. But this is a big mistake by Seaborn. You got to get rid of the football here. Holds it too long and gets sacked by Tyler Atkinson, a 5-star prospect, 13-yard loss. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. It's 7-0 Grayson, and Thompson has done nothing on offense, but the defense strikes. Elijah Miller gets the ball knocked out of his hands by Vinny Pyrus, and it's scooped up by Anquan Fagans, another Auburn commit, for a touchdown, 7-7. Later, it's Grayson's Jalen Williams with the interception to set the Rams up on the Warriors side of the field. But Grayson can't convert. On 4th down, Travis Burches fills the heat. Pressure causes an incomplete pass, and Thompson takes over. We go into overtime, tied 7, and then Seaborn shows you why he's a top prospect. Hadn't had a good night, but look at that strike. In OT, they kick the extra point. It's 14-7. But Grayson gets the ball at the 10, and Travis Burgess swings it out to Aiden Taylor for the touchdown. But here's where it gets interesting. On the road, Grayson says, forget the extra point. We're going to win it or lose it right here. They go for 2, and they convert. Direct snap to Elijah Miller. He goes right up the middle. That's the game-winning 2-point conversion. Grayson over Thompson, 2 powerhouses, and we get an overtime game. Grayson gets it done, though, 15-14. All right, another Georgia team, Gainesville, Georgia, with head coach Josh Niblett, the former Hoover head coach. Still looking like he's ready to go out and lift the whole gym. Stays very fit. At Moody, here comes the big bruising Moody running back, Bravis Cave. But look at this. Can't handle the snap on 4th and 1. That hurts because Gainesville is able to get the football. 3-0 at the half, but in the third quarter, the big red machine, the red elephants they call them, flex their mighty muscles. 1st and goal, quarterback Kareem Hughley calls his own number for a touchdown. And now on a drive that started from their own 6 in the fourth quarter, the icing on the cake, Carmelo Bird with the touchdown, made it 17-0, and Gainesville goes on to win tonight, or last night, I should say. These are Thursday night games. 31-7. Josh Niblett comes back to Alabama and gets the win with a victory at Moody. First ever matchup last night between Muscle Shoals and Gadsden City over in Gadsden City in Class 6A action. First quarter tied at 7, not for long. Muscle Shoals Jacques Green on the shuttle pass, and he is gone. 42-yard touchdown. Trojans take a 14-7 lead. Second half now, Muscle Shoals attempts a field goal, but it's blocked and recovered by Latarian Wow for an 82-yard pickup and return for a touchdown. That is what they call a momentum changer. 10-point swing makes it 14-13. Later in the third, 4th and 15, the Titans go for it. And Kai Franklin to TJ Worthy on the screen, and that is a touchdown. And Gadsden City goes up, and they go on to win it. Good ball game last night, 33-29. Gadsden City with a home victory to open the 2024 season. All right, that's going to do it for our high school highlights, but we still have so much more to come, including Alex Booth talking with the new voice of the Crimson Tide football program, Chris Stewart. But up next, if you're wondering how your favorite high school team did, you won't have to wonder much longer. We're going to have the complete Football Friday scoreboard when we return here on WVUA 23. And that was the Fayette County High School Marching Band, our Band of the Week. Welcome back to Football Friday on WVUA 23. Now it's time to check in on some other area scores from across Alabama. To do that, let's turn our attention to the complete Football Friday scoreboard, and let's get through these scores. It was Northridge tonight on the road. Wow, what a way to start the season. When you go on the road and you get a win, you know, winning at home is sweet. I think winning on the road is even sweeter. Look, Jags did that tonight at Calera, 30-27. Bibb County at home, rivalry game. You know, Clanton and Centerville not that far apart. Bibb County gets the win at home over Chilton County, 29-21 the final. It was Hale County on the road at Pickens Academy tonight up in Carrollton. Hale County from Moundville gets the win, 33-20. And Aliceville at home. Tell you what, Aliceville and Pickens County, when they get on the field, they get after each other. And Aliceville comes up with a win tonight at home over the Tornadoes. The Yellow Jackets get it done, 21-13. Big win there for Aliceville. Mountain Brook goes to Demopolis. You go to Demopolis and you shut out the Tigers 28-0. You must be pretty good. Mountain Brook Spartans got a good football team to do that. Lamar County wins bragging rights over South Lamar tonight, 12-6 the final in that one. It was Sipsey Valley over Greene County, 56-32. The Bears get the win down in Utah, and Billingsley goes to Greensboro tonight and posts a win, 46-20 over the Raiders. Morgan Academy at home over Southern Academy tonight, 30-22. Sulligent wins at Marion County, 42-22 the final in that one. It was Carver Montgomery. Carver Montgomery's got a lot of top prospects. I'm talking about at the next level. They showed it, 41-10 over Vestavia. Wow. It was Oak Mountain over Briarwood tonight, 38-28 the final there. JAG out of Montgomery goes to Hewitt-Frustville, and Hewitt-Frustville opened up a can of you-know-what, 50-6 the final there. Fultondale at home over Linden, 34-26. It was Center Point and Bessemer City going down to the wire. Bessemer City wins it at home, 19-16. Haleyville wins at West Point, 27-24. It was Woodlawn at Shades Valley. Shades Valley, the Mounties get the win, 41-20. Leeds wins at Mortimer Jordan, 42-20 the final score there. Pell City big over Pelham. A little bit of a surprise to me right there, 35-7. And JB Pennington tonight on the road at Susan Moore, 55-18 the final. Well, that's our Football Friday scoreboard for this evening, but we aren't done with high school football. When we return, Bama Central's Joe Gaither will join me for high school football analysis, including an in-depth look at our game of the week between Tuscaloosa County High and Central. What a game. And we've got that game-winning field goal, thanks to Joe. We'll show it to you when we come back to Football Friday, only on WVUA 23.
We are the Tuscaloosa Academy Knights, and we love Football Friday. On WVUA 23 Sports. Good night! Let's go!
And we're back on Football Friday, presented by Alabama Credit Union, and thrilled for the second straight year I'm Gary Harris, of course, to be joined by Joe Gaither from Bama Central, our high school analyst, and did a great job for us last year and does a great job at BamaCentral.com, by the way, the Sports Illustrated site for Alabama. But tonight it's all about high school football. And, Joe, you pick a game of the week, and I do it every week. And, sometimes, you look at rivalries and all that, but sometimes game of the week turn out to be duds. That was not the case tonight. Let's just go ahead. I already showed the highlights. Our Jalen Prince did a great job shooting the highlights, but he had to come back. And it was 28-7 in this one. And Central comes all the way back. Tell us, you shot the game-winning field goal. Tell us about it.
All right, so it's 28-7, and really Central just dug their way back into it. Their defense kept giving them stops, and it was an electric up-pump return that brought Central down to the 1-yard line, where Xavier Cohen punched it in to tie it up to 28-all. Now, County High had a chance to take it right back down the field with 4.5 minutes left, but they ended up punting, and Central just kept going, milked the clock all the way down. They had it 4th and 2. They had an opportunity for about a 35-yard field goal. They ended up going for it, making the first down, milking more clock, and kicking a game-winning field goal with just 12 seconds left.
You did a great job of keeping us updated on well, I still say Twitter, X, Twix, whatever you want to call it. Who was the young man that hit the field goal?
The young man who hit the field goal was Graham Wolf. He hit a 34-yarder to win it, and he was 4 for 4 on extra points.
So he's the real deal.
Absolutely.
There's no more pressure as a high school kicker than with the game on the line. And a little bit of payback for Central after they lost a heartbreaker last year to County High.
It worked out the exact same way, but reverse. I remember scrambling back to the station last year, and it was County High listening on the radio kicking a game-winning field goal. So a little bit of role reversal in the opposite stadium, and just great for DeMario Pippen digging back into
DeMario
it.
Pippen last year, his first year, he's in year 2, and wow, he's making progress. Miles Holcomb, the new County High head coach, that's a heartbreaker. He is a good football coach. Remember, they had a 28-7 lead. I know he'll have to build off the positive. It's hard to see that right now. But County High, for at least the first half into the third quarter, dominated this game.
Yeah, they were a very physical football team. They had a lot of big plays. They had running back KJ Jackson ended up with a 76-yard touchdown run to open the second half. And really, it was all about County High breaking open some big plays and just popping a gap and scoring. They ended up having a 62-yard touchdown pass. Ended up with a 40-yard screen play all in the first half. So it was big plays for County High, maybe a little more consistency for week number 2.
Yeah, but these two teams, County High's in 7A, Central's in 6A. Great that they're playing this game again, and now both teams will get ready for their region play. All right, last night you were also on hand up in Gordo as we were. Jalen Prince was at that game as well, our great multimedia journalist. And this was a game that traditionally has been a terrific rivalry and has been competitive. Last night, though, Gordo, 62-12. What can you say, Joe?
Well, Jace Neal was just Mr.
Phenomenal.
Everything. 4 rushing touchdowns. He ended up with a 99-yard rushing touchdown that really Gordo was just trying to get the ball off the goal line and really scored it free. He kind of reminded me a little bit of a poor man's Johnny Manziel, high school Johnny Manziel, hard to catch. Ended up with 2 passing touchdowns as well. I think he opened with the passing touchdown. And so Gordo, no seniors on their offensive line, but they looked really, really, really strong.
Gus Smith already said they're on a mission to win a state championship.
I don't know that anybody's going to stop them. I'm looking forward to continue to watch the Green Wave.
Joe, great job. We'll see you again next week.
Thanks for having me,
And
Gary.
when we come back to Football Friday, our award-winning Outside the Huddle feature, that's coming up next, so you stay with us. And welcome back to WVUA 23's Football Friday, presented by Alabama Credit Union. I'm Gary Harris. It's time now for our award-winning Outside the Huddle feature presented by Premier Service Company. Premier Service Company, the power to keep you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Well, football is a contact sport requiring strength, speed, and athleticism. But you also need to be able to use your mind, use your brain to be effective on the football field and, of course, in life as well. Here's Football Friday's Alex Booth with more on Brain Day.
A lot of thought goes into Brain Day, trying to find what gives Alabama its home field edge and how it can be used to its advantage.
I think it's a game changer, getting them to campus to see all these different things and learn from experts. I always like to think, how can we take science, translate it to actual real life stuff?
This past spring, for the second consecutive year, UA's Human Environmental Sciences Department, as well as its School of Arts and Sciences and the Alabama Life Research Institute, hosted football teams from Tuscaloosa's Central High School, Paul Bryant, and West Lawn Middle School to see the game through a lens that is uniquely Alabama.
You looking at guys that are at Bama, to them, it's like that's close to being to the NFL.
Devontae Smith, for educational-wise, before the week or on Sunday or something, he was like he tried to do all his schoolwork before ahead of time so he could focus on straight football.
Tide players are not the only thing that evoked an audible response.
The noise that it made, the understanding what you could put in that machine, how it actually operates, the knowledge that our kids got is second to none. You can't beat it.
It has a blood alcohol content of 0.08 to 0.13.
So we added driving this year, and that's because we have a brand new lab on campus called the Trip Lab. It's a brand new resource. These kids are learning to drive, kids are getting permits, they're driving cars. Why not incorporate that into our brain day? Because operating a motor vehicle, you have to practice brain safety, you have to practice a lot of safety behaviors.
Brain Day hit on a series of topics: sleep hygiene, nutrition, hydration, driving, exercise, and concussion. Knowledge is power. Execution is vital, and the schools wasted no time incorporating the lessons of Brain Day into their own programs.
I have seen less sodas since we started, more Powerades and water, actually hydrating before practice, so I have seen that.
While I'm at school, I drink like 7 to 8 bottles of water a day. When I go home, I probably drink like 5 or 6 of them. Like, that's the only thing I really drink for real.
You got guys calling guys on things. Hey man, you need to be eating it. Hey coach, I got my gallon of water today. I'm getting hydrated. I got my proper rest. I went to sleep at 10 o'clock last night. I didn't stay up on the game all night.
It's not just giving them the information, it's making sure that they know how to use it. One of the activities at Brain Day was having each school create the pregame meal for every game on the 2024 schedule.
Incorporate something active and fun so they can really get a real life experience and have a main takeaway from the session, right? So incorporating some of those active learning strategies to get them engaged with the material.
Know your why. Why are we drinking water? Why are we doing the push-ups? Why are we practicing? Why are we meeting? And why you have to read the label on a nutrition pack to understand what you put in your body. Back in my day, we didn't have no why. We went back out there.
Brain Day doesn't just highlight short-term goals for players, but shows why taking care of your body has long-term benefits.
Like last year, everybody we played like first 3 or 4 games cramping out. But my guys, they weren't cramping.
So those are those real life things that we want to see change, right? It's these things that we can control to prevent things like cramping, concussions, other orthopedic injuries.
It really just sheds a light on what's going on in sports. Oftentimes people try to not talk about it as much because, people steer away from sports because of injuries, but injuries happen in every sport. So I think it's something that we definitely, needed to be transparent with the kids. Okay, concussions happen.
Dr. Wallace in Alabama see brain health as an umbrella term. There are many different things that go into it, and it's not just developing the brain, but developing healthy habits that will maintain over the course of time.
Thank you, Alex. Great job. And Alex is busy for us here on Football Friday because when we come back, he's going to visit with the voice of the Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart. That's next on Football Friday.
We are the Gordo cheerleaders, and you're watching Football Friday on WVUA 23.
Well, during the college football season, each week we present a look at the Alabama opponent in our Behind Enemylons feature. Since there's no game tomorrow, our Alex Booth decided to visit with the new voice of the Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart.
Thanks, Gary. I'm Alex Booth, joined alongside Crimson Tide Sports Network Director of Broadcasting, Chris Stewart. Chris, thanks so much for joining us today. Just start off, obviously, your role is going to be expanding this year in Alabama athletics. Just what is that going to be like for you, and just how hectic is that schedule?
It's been busier in the summer. I guess a bigger change in the summer than what really I'll experience in season in relation to what I have in the past. My Saturdays, my game days have been pretty busy for more than 20 years. Different roles with the network, but most recently, filling in for Eli Gold 2 years ago on play-by-play when he was ill. Last year, I've been given the honor of sharing the duties with him, and now opportunity of a lifetime to get to be the full-time play-by-play voice for football. And it's special. And the games are the games. The time during the game and the window that you work hasn't really changed, but there are a lot more interview requests like this. There are a lot more Red Elephant clubs, Alabama alumni chapters, quarterback clubs, Red Elephant clubs, all of those things that it's not me, it's whoever happens to be the announcer for the Crimson Tide that gets called on for those. And so I'm honored and grateful that those are the things that are occupying a little bit more time right now.
Right, and obviously a lot of changes with the Alabama football program this offseason with Nick Saban retiring. Just what are kind of your expectations in year one at the Kalen DeBoer era?
I think that it will look very much result-wise like it's looked for the majority of the previous 17 years. And really, in more than 125 years of existence for Alabama football, this is the program that is the standard. That hasn't changed. And while, look, we know that it was a rough time that Nick Saban inherited. Mike Shula had a very tough situation that he inherited because of NCAA sanctions and helped us kind of weather through that storm, but it was the perfect timing with us coming out of probation, with work taking place and modernization in some areas that Coach Mal Moore had put in place, and then the arrival of the guy that was the best coach in college football during this era to be there on the front end and help take us where we knew we could be, but probably exceeding even expectations that he or we had from a Bama standpoint. Now you've brought in Kalen DeBoer, who just coached in a national championship game himself, who's been of championship pedigree at every level he's coached, that fits the mold in terms of who he is as a man and as a coach, to take over the reins of a program that's moving at a great level. And by his own admission, doesn't have to change a lot, but has to just kind of put it in his image and mold it his way. I think we're already seeing that, and I think it's going to pay off great results.
And obviously, SEC is going to look a little different this year with Texas and Oklahoma joining the conference.
Sure.
Just in general, the conference schedule is going to be a little bit different. What's one game that you're really looking forward to on the schedule, and you kind of have that one circled?
You know, of the new ones, I think it's got to be a trip to Norman, Oklahoma. I'm not looking forward to mid-late November. I know it gets cold there, and there's nothing to slow the wind down. So it will be less than pleasant, is my guess, from a weather condition standpoint. But it'll be special. My color analyst on the network, Tyler Watts, was actually the quarterback at Alabama the last time the Tide played a game in that stadium. So that one, I think, kind of stands out to me from a conference standpoint. Going to Wisconsin for the first time, I think, will be special and unique. And those of us fortunate enough to turn it into a doubleheader weekend and enjoy the Packers on Sunday are kind of excited about that as well. But from a Bama standpoint, I think the addition of Oklahoma on the schedule, in addition to everything else that we are accustomed to, will be really, really exciting.
Well, it does sound really exciting, especially going up to Wisconsin. That's going to be a lot of fun up in Madison. But we're excited for the season. And once again, Chris, thank you for coming in and taking some of your time out to talk with us. And for Alex Booth, Chris Stewart, back to you, Gary.
And thank you, Alex, and thank you, Chris. We'll be right back with more football.
Yeah, everybody was wondering. We were wondering ourselves what was Najee going to do. Alabama, they had this top recruiting class that featured so many future stars, not only at Alabama but also in the NFL. And Najee was the highest ranked recruit in that class. One of the just premier guys in the country. And with Najee, he committed early. And he was locked in. He focused in on his junior season. Well, by the time his junior season had ended, everybody was all over him. They were trying to flip him, wanted him to come to their school, take visits, and he started taking more visits. Started taking visits to Michigan, and Jim Harbaugh, he did a great job developing that relationship. Then he goes out to the All-American Bowl, goes out there, and just so happens his roommate is Tua. And Tua and him are roommates for the entire week. Tua ends up obviously coming to Tuscaloosa. I think they were on the exact same flight from San Antonio to Tuscaloosa, but nobody knew what he was going to do. Was he going to end up going to Ann Arbor? Was he going to fly into Birmingham? We didn't know exactly what was going to happen until he got on that plane. And I think we heard from a solid source who knew that he had just stepped on the plane, or he was at the terminal, that he was heading to Tuscaloosa. They were very confident in that regard, but you never knew for sure until they actually touched down in Alabama. And I'm pretty sure that we got confirmation from Tua once that officially happened.
How good is that? And we're going to have recruiting tales with Andrew Bowen from BamaOnline.com all season long. We're also going to go around the SEC all season long. And tonight, Theodore Fernandez takes a look at the season ahead in the best conference in college football.
Alabama's Kalen DeBoer is not the only new coach in the SEC this season. Mike Elko has taken the reins at Texas A&M after the Aggies moved on from Jimbo Fisher. Elko went 17-9 in 2 years at Duke and was the ACC Coach of the Year in 2022. Before that, Elko was A&M's defensive coordinator from 2018 through 2021. Pressure will be high as the Aggies fan base is desperate for success after a disappointing run under Fisher. And right down Highway 82, Jeff Lebby is in as Mississippi State's new head coach. He previously had stints as offensive coordinator at UCF, Ole Miss, and most recently Oklahoma. Lebby replaces the fired Zach Arnett. Excitement is building on the Plains as Auburn enters year 2 of the Hugh Freeze era. A big reason for that excitement: the Tigers landed the number 5 QB in the 2024 class in Walker White. But White is not going to start the year as Peyton Thorne's backup. On Tuesday, Auburn named redshirt freshman Hank Brown as QB2. It's a surprising move. Brown was just a 3-star recruit, not an elite prospect in 2023. Many did not expect him to compete for the job. Following back-to-back impressive seasons from Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton, there's a new QB1 in Knoxville. The number 2 overall player in the 2023 cycle, Nico Iamaleava, has been hailed as a future superstar since he first committed to play for the Vols. Hype has been through the roof, especially after Iamaleava scored 4 touchdowns in last year's Citrus Bowl, going against a dominant Iowa defense.
He's just a natural, a calm leader, you know what I'm saying? Does a real good job for how young he is in the building, but he's molding and developing that role. He's very talented, works hard, very humble, and he brings everybody up around us.
There should be no shortage of offensive fireworks for Iamaleava and the Vols under Josh Heupel's system. That will do it for Around the SEC. For Football Friday, I'm Theodore Fernandez.
Thank you, Theodore. What a show. I've been doing this a long time. I don't want to tell you how long. Many, many, many years I've been covering high school football. The first show every year, no matter how many times you've been doing it, it's all like the first game for a football team. It's always new, and you feel like once you get through the first one, it's only going to get better. But great job by our crew tonight. You're going to see some of their names here in just a moment. And do want to tell you, all these great features that we have sponsorships still available on this show. So give our sales department here a call at WVUA 23 if you'd like to be a part of Football Friday. We do want to thank our presenting sponsor, Alabama Credit Union, our other sponsors as well, Pool and Patio for our cheerleaders, Jolly Path and Hearth for our Band of the Week, Premier Service Company for our Outside the Huddle feature, and as I said, more sponsorships are available if you want to get involved with Football Friday. All right, that is going to do it for the first show, week 0, show number 1. We'll be back for 11 more weeks here on Football Friday. And, of course, next week we'll be able to talk about Alabama and Western Kentucky. All right, we're going to leave you with a look at some of the folks that made this show possible. It's a lot more than just me. So enjoy your weekend, your final one without Alabama football, and we'll see you again next week on Football Friday on WVUA 23. Good night.